AI, energy, defense. In today's volatile world, no three areas of business are more linked to national security than these three. Information and how is it accessed in the AI-led future? What will be the country's biggest source of energy and who will provide it? And how does a nation defend its territorial integrity in the new field of non-combat warfare? Nothing matters more in today's global framework than this. So ahead of the Union Budget 2026, we are looking at exactly these sectors. How is India doing and what more does it need? Indian government has already announced multiple measures and schemes to promote indigenous manufacturing and tech development in all of these sectors with Atmanirbhar Bharat, Bharat AI and National Hydrogen Green Energy Mission. But what more needs to be done, especially by the government? What do private players need to deliver for India? To talk about this and more, I'm joined by industry voices from exactly these sectors. Nikhil Matre is founder and CEO of AI Overlords. Nikhil Methia is founder and CEO of Drone Lab Technologies, and also Vatsal Kundalia is managing director, Advait Green Energy Private Limited. Big thanks to the gentlemen for joining us. Nikhil Matre, I begin with you. Even as we speak and look ahead of the next budget, we are seeing, for example, at Davos, AI being mentioned very prominently. India's wanting to be taken as a very serious player in this regard. Give me a sense of how well do you think India is doing, especially with government initiatives and private players like yourself putting their best in this?
Yes, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So India has definitely moved from policy talk to real programs. We see National AI Mission, India AI Mission, right? We have GPU access plans, etc. We have seen a lot of strong application-led growth in sectors like fintech, in health tech, in gov tech, agri tech, etc. And the major advantage that we have as Indians is, talent depth. We have cost-efficient engineers. We have globally deployable AI engineers who actually can, be deployed in any country and solve any sort of AI problems that we have today. So we, though there are some limitations when it comes to, let's say, competing with US on building frontier models, we are not there yet. But we are definitely outperforming many other countries in applied AI adoption and in service-led innovation.
The government has made a big push in this regard, and this seems to be a very key focus area. We're looking at how many, fields of life this actually affects and is going to affect in the future as well. In fact, we are learning as we speak that the government may, in fact, focus very strongly on AI and AI models. We want our own language models. We want our own AI models. We are seeing the line between tech companies and policy, kind of fade in terms of the fear that tech companies could decide a lot of a nation's sovereignty online as well. So do you think the government has done enough in this regard? And how competitive do you think we can be looking forward?
Right. So I think the role of the government really should be that of an evangelist. It should definitely put in place guardrails and not roadblocks. But when it comes to actually, like creating serious sort of AI regulations, I think the government has so far has done a very good job, right? We really don't have full understanding of what sort of challenges will arise in future. But at this point in time, I'm very, very comfortable with what all frameworks already have been put in place.
Let's also touch on, drones, especially because we are seeing them as the new modern warfare in all kinds of situations. In fact, drones are extremely important. They're being used extensively already in India as far as agricultural or civil applications are concerned. So, Nikhil Mehta, I want your first opening sense of how well India is doing versus the world. And has India succeeded to what amount in becoming Atmanirbhar, as the government says, when it comes to these technologies?
Yes. Thank you. So I'm a part of drone industry since 2016. So we see this industry for the 10-year shifting from the zero to hero model. So we visit around the world. Like I visit in the Europe, I visit in the Russia, I visit in the South Korea as well. But I'm proud to say the Indian government doing lot of work in the drone sector, like our policy. Like in 2021, we have best policy in the world. Some of European countries don't have such kind of policy. So we are working in the four parallel pillar in the drone sector. So first is a drone as a service, the drone manufacturing, third is a drone training, and fourth is a drone software development. So Indian policy making is a completely focus on the all four pillars. So in the indigenous part, the drone Shakti Yojana. So they promote in the drone as a service sector, drone training sector. So governments come with the PLI scheme. In the first phase, they allotted 120 CR. Now they are planning to allocate more than 100x of the same amount in the PLI because the indigenous is must needed. We see the Operation Sindhu. So now warfare is only by the drone. So currently Ukraine, Russia, they are not a man-to-man warfare.
Yes.
They are system oriented warfare. So in the future warfare is a completely drone based, AI based, and robot based. So government also focus on the such topic. They like as a drone player, I see the industry is shifting. So government focus on the drone cluster. So there are some of states are aggressively working on the drone cluster thing. In all over world, there is a no drone cluster kind of thing is still anything happening. Andhra Pradesh coming with their own drone city model. Madhya Pradesh is coming with the drone cluster. Gujarat is coming with the drone cluster. The major state is coming with own drone cluster. So it's kind of aura or industry player will be at same place. They will not a fighting with each other. They will do the collaborative approach and they will work for the nation. So this is the drone cluster model. There are multiple schemes government coming with the win-win situation working. We see as a part of industry. So parallelly, multiple policies are in India. There is not exist anywhere in the world. So we proud that we born in India and we feel the industry revolutions and we are the part of it.
But how would you rate India in comparison to other countries? Because generally speaking, there is a thought process that India is still not leading as far as tech is concerned or R&D is concerned. Although, of course, Operation Sindoor and the many successes that Indian drone companies have had has really changed that outlook or that feeling. But how would you compare India or manufacturers like yourself to the global competition? Give me a sense of, what are the kind of markets, for example, that you are able to access, not just, the Indian market, but, for example, from the export point of view.
So Exos point of view, we personally focus on the Russian market as of now. The last year I was in Russia, so they are also want to partnering with the Indian company who are expanding the both type of drone, the civilian drones, like which drones then use cases for the smart city purpose, survey purpose, agriculture purpose, wash purpose, such kind of drones already good in the India market, and they are also looking for the war drones. They can use for the war purpose. So India is a key. Even Russia is not working on the civilian drones like such kind of operation in the survey or agriculture drone. They are also looking for the good partner. So there is a good opportunity in the Russian market. In the South Korea, I visited in 2024. So South Korea is they are good in the software development part, but not the drone development as of now. South Korea is also a good market. South Africa and Africa region, they are also born baby. Like when we see India is in 2016, the Africa region is currently starting working in the drone sector in 2024 and 25. So Africa region is also good market to the explore, and the Europe is a good market, but due to the this NATO alliance, there is some restriction about the flying of drones. So it's like we also explore the European market, but due to some restriction, we are not able to crack it. But these are the three countries: Russia, South Africa, and the Africa region whole. Good market to the export industry.
I want to also touch upon energy now, because we all know, this is not something that is a matter of today, but energy resources and also energy creation, both continue to be extremely important as far as the growth story of a country is concerned. So Vatsal, give me your sense. We've had this much touted hydrogen green energy mission. We've had an explosion of sorts as far as solar energy is concerned in India. Give me a sense at the beginning of how well do you think we have done? Because, some of these targets are for as soon as 2030 and beyond. Are we on track to meet some of these targets?
So thank you for the question. And to answer your question, we are now moving from ambition to execution, right? So that is a very clear path, which majorly all of the private companies have already taken up the initiative. We as a company are contributing towards the National Green Hydrogen Mission, as we also have got the PLI to produce upwards of 300 megawatt of hydrogen electrolyzers, which is basically essentially the core component to generate the green hydrogen from RE power to the actual molecule of hydrogen it is.
Yes.
Currently, if you ask, then I would say that the country is currently changing towards the policy, because there are the policy frameworks which are being placed, but still we can see a lot of demand gap. And see, in any industry, there is always a chicken and egg situation, right? When there is demand, then only we can do supply. We are not inherently rich country like some of the other countries who have the money to do the R&D first. And we as a country are not frankly a R&D country. Let me be very clear on this. We are sort of a execution, and then what we do is that we work on the balance of plant, and then we work on the indigenizing it, and then making it cheaper and more efficient. So this is what the Indian DNA has been like. So currently what the thing is that a lot of private companies and a lot of the public sector utilities are contributing, but still it is at a minuscule stage, because the policies have been created, but the execution, it's still a little bit far-fetched. That is what I can say. So once the demand is created, the projects automatically become bankable, and then there will be a lot of export opportunity as well, because this will be a direct fossil fuel eradication from India once the green molecules like hydrogen and ammonia are actually in picture. So this is the situation. If in one line I would have to answer is that we are moving from policy to execution to demand off taking. So this is the phase that we are in.
No, particularly in the energy sector, the supply-demand, lopsidedness has been a challenge. There are also grid challenges, right? Currently, we don't have either the capacity to store that much or the capacity to actually, use whether it's hydrogen or solar energy as it is being produced. So, how do you look at these challenges, and how soon do you think India can be on the path where these challenges are no longer holding back the energy creation?
See, few years, because number one, for any project to be successful, number one, you need policy. We are there already. You need serious players. We are a lot of serious players we are seeing in India currently. We also have just inaugurated in Kakinada one of the biggest ammonia generation plants in the world. So that is a very big very big opportunity and very big initiative that has been taken. Apart from that, of course, the point you mentioned is that we don't have a green grid. That is a huge issue that we are facing. So essentially what will happen is that wherever the RE power is generated, at that site you'll have to install electrolyzers and install the green hydrogen ammonia derivative plant. And at that stage only, because see, even with these kind of molecules, the transportation is a very big issue. You cannot essentially fill hydrogen up and transport in a tanker. It is not that way. And still we are not seeing a very strong government policy for security and for storage purpose.
Okay.
So currently we are we can say we are at a draft model on many terms, but at the same time we are seeing huge projects being commissioned and being in pipeline in India. So we see that sooner we'll be able to get a very much clearer view. And I would just like to point out that currently we are seeing a lot of surge in the demand of battery energy storage systems in India. And as a company also, we have contributed to the story as being a developer, and we are also setting up our own assembly plant for battery energy storage systems. So honestly, we have been caught red-handed here, because the entire year, this year of 25-26, we have seen tenders of upwards 8 to 10 gigawatt being floated in the system. And all of the business, at least 80 to 90% of the business has gone to our neighboring countries. Okay. So in order to ensure that this doesn't happen in hydrogen, government and the policymakers will have to see that a survival of private companies wanting to make equipment and machinery and BOP for hydrogen and ammonia related components like electrolyzers and BOP and systems, and EPC companies as well, get survival projects for an initial 1.5 or 2 year time period. Once this is done, they will be able to, so companies like us essentially will be able to train the staff, will be able to generate the qualification, the capability, the know-how, and the capacity.
Right.
And the banks will also turn out. So after 2 to 3 years, we'll be sure that minimum business goes to the neighboring countries or global companies, and Indian companies get a edge.
As far as this is,
After
No.
2 to 3 years.
So, Nikhil Matra, I want to understand from you, when we speak of AI, currently there's so much chatter in the world about rare earth, minerals, resources, for example, that data centers need. And we all know about some of the concerns that are arising of how much power, for example, that is required to scale up these, these facilities. Is that a concern for you, given what is happening in the global framework? All of this fight that is going on across countries, across groups for rare earths and other, raw material that is required.
Absolutely. So one of the key pillars in building, very, very strong AI capabilities for any nation is AI infrastructure. And then in order to build AI infrastructure, you need GPUs, you need compute infrastructure, right? And to build these GPUs, you need rare earth materials, you need, all kinds of minerals, you need energy. Is one of the primary things that you need, right? And some of the projections that you see that are coming out from these AI companies and the amount of electricity they would be needing in the near future, it's huge, right? In some cases, it might actually take up 1 to 2% of US's energy reserves every year, right? And that will only accelerate. It will not come down. So if you think about it, these are very, very fundamental challenges, and we must do anything and everything in our capacity to get more minerals. So the actual production of these GPUs happens outside, but then we can always assemble these GPUs and create our own compute sort of infrastructure. And then the energy is something that can come from our national player itself, right? So we can get a lot of energy and then really scale these compute infrastructures, and then and that actually will translate to us giving a lot of cloud credits for startups and for research institutions at a subsidized or at a very, very low cost, right? So it's very, very important that we get few pieces like these, minerals and energy and other things in the right place, so that we have a huge impact.
Yeah. So as far as this budget is concerned, what is the kind of framework help that you are looking forward to from the government? Is it more on the side that there should be more fund allocation, particularly when it comes to sustaining, creating these sovereign models, and making sure that there's a pipeline of funding available, even if private players were to go for R&D and other scaling up? Or is it more on the side of infrastructure, these building blocks that you talked about, including power, electricity, water, etc.?
Definitely, infrastructure will be one of the biggest play, right? We definitely need subsidized and some kind of national GPU and compute infrastructure. Like I've said, that will help startups, that will help organizations in getting access to cloud credits at a very, very subsidized rate. We definitely need to skill our population at a very, very fast pace. AI is the fastest growing industry by far, and we definitely need to do something about it. A lot of reskilling and upskilling is required. There are engineers who are working in the same job for 10 years, but they are not skilled enough, to be employed anywhere, especially in the AI economy. So definitely a lot can be done on that front. I've seen a lot of gaps in specific domains like applied AI, MLOps, AI safety and compliance, etc. In addition to that, I feel we must definitely motivate young entrepreneurs to start AI companies. Like a good way to do this would be to have some kind of stipend for founders, at least for a year or 18 months, so that they can take care of their personal personal things. And then obviously, grants are definitely needed for startups. We can also do things like, give some kind of depreciation benefits, accelerated depreciation benefits to companies which are doing some serious investments in AI, so that they can set that investment off over a number of years. What is also needed is a lot of regulatory confidence. We need clear, innovation-friendly AI governance. We also need the government to basically act more like a guardrail, to put guardrails in place and not roadblocks. And one last piece on the regulation front would be, what is really needed is, we want the government to play the role of an evangelist. We want the government to be a facilitator, and we also want it, to be a referee, where it stays away from participating in this game, but then, it actually can make sure that all the private players are developing responsible AI.
All right. Let's wait and see what comes as far
Yeah.
as this is concerned. But, definitely all of these sectors are high priority for the government. And there are also sectors that, are really crucial to India's growth, both economically, but also as a country, standing on its own in a very volatile geopolitical scenario in the future. So, Vatsal, your thoughts finally on what you would like to see as far as energy and renewable energy, hydrogen energy from the government is concerned, because they've made a lot of allocations already. What more needs to be done?
In renewable, if speaking on renewable, because there's no comment to make on solar, because we already have a story in solar. India is successfully the cheapest country to produce solar energy, and we are the cheapest price has been discovered in the latest tenders in the current year. And this is a massive big point for India, a big win for India. If storage is concerned, battery energy storage systems this year and until 2030, we are going to see a very big boom and a rise in demand. And even in supply, and even a lot of manufacturing companies are opening up their bases in India for batteries specifically. But here also Indianization of this battery, local value addition content, which we call it in our business language. So local value addition should be at a higher priority. At least 60 to 70% of local value should be prioritized. There should be some caps for the companies who are made in Indian. For battery, so these things will actually motivate the Indian companies and also increase the revenue, increase the job opportunity, increase the infra and overall development story for our country specifically. So that's for the storage side. And in hydrogen, there should be, again, circling back to my first point, there is still a very big gap of demand creation. And see, essentially, all of the grey hydrogen users, currently also India is a very big market for grey hydrogen, right? All of the industries like fertilizers, refineries, pharma companies, galvanizing plants, all of these use grey hydrogen. But for them to motivate them to use green hydrogen, we have to introduce something like a subsidy or something like a reward system. So this has been story with rooftop solar, with EV cars, and should be with green hydrogen as well. So this will create demand. Demand will create bankable projects. The cost of capital will reduce and automatically the cycle will start, because India is already at a stage of execution, right? We just need good projects, bankable projects, and the rest can be done very easily, which we have already done in solar and wind.
Absolutely. I do thank all three of you for joining us. Certainly, these are the sectors to watch out for. Already, India has made a great start, but it is about now unleashing what is the available talent and technology in India to create an India of the future. Thanks a lot for watching our budget special. Keep watching CNN News 18.